Hi guys, welcome to another vlog. So today is a busy day for me because I have to go for this workshop. But I thought before I leave, I'll shoot today's vlog because I don't think I'll get time later in the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover 3 or 4 common questions or concerns that I keep getting from students through email or when I interact with them. The first one is, how should you interpret your diagnostic test scores? So by diagnostic test, I mean the test that you take before you start your GMAT preparation. Now, if you join some classes, or if you hire a tutor, or even if you research online, a lot of people would suggest that you start by taking a diagnostic test. Even I recommend that. Start by taking a diagnostic because one, you will get an idea of the test structure, the question types, your strengths and weaknesses, and I as a teacher will get an idea of your baseline score or where you stand on that particular day. So students tend to get very worried as to what if I don't get a good score? I mean, you will most likely not get a good score. That is the idea. I mean, if you get a good score, you wouldn't need tutoring or classes or preparation in any case. So you would not do particularly well, but depending on where you end up, it will give me an idea of, where you can go from here. And I'll reveal a secret to you. Now, most students would end up between 500 and 550. That's the most common range for your diagnostic test score. And from that score, I have seen students go up to a 750 also, 680 also, 720 also. So if you are in that range, you're absolutely fine. If you are below 500, I think you are a little on the lower side, while still I've seen fewer cases of people getting higher scores from there. If you're below 400, unless something went drastically wrong in your diagnostic test, you couldn't complete it, or you only attempted half the questions. If something like that happened, then fine. But if you got a below 400 score as a genuine score in the diagnostic, well, it will be tough for you to get to a 700 if you ask me. I'm being very honest over here. If you get a score of greater than 600, I'll be very, very surprised if you don't get close to a 740, 750. So all this is purely through experience. This is what I've seen over the years. But I still suggest that you take the diagnostic because now you can anyway use the scaling chart I've just given you to figure out where you might end up. Second thing that I'll address is with regards to the reading comprehension prep. And I'll get very specific. How many passages should you practice? Because reading novels, reading books, the time for all that is over. Once you start your GMAT preparation, you should only focus on GMAT specific stuff. And the best way, rather the only way to improve reading comprehension is to practice a lot of passages. I'll give you a number, 100 passages. That's your goal. Once you've attempted 100 GMAT-like passages, you've pretty much seen every kind of topic, every kind of question that the GMAT can throw at you. So what should be the source of those 100 questions? I mean, as much as possible, stick to official material. You have around 27, 28 passages in the OG. You have another 13, 14 passages in the OG verbal review, the supplement. That adds up to around 40 passages. Use the RC Grail for another set of 60 passages. I normally don't pitch my books in my videos, but the reason we came up with the RC Grail is because we wanted to provide a lot of GMAT-like practice passages to students. Because it is our belief that that's the best way to improve your reading comprehension. So most of the books only give you 15 passages, 20 passages. We give you 60 divided across difficulty levels. In fact, and I have said this before, the RC Grail would probably be a better preparation tool than the OG for reading comprehension because the OG RCs will give you a lot of questions. A lot of the passages in the OG will give you 6, 7, 8 questions. The problem is, in order to answer 6, 7, 8 questions, you have to understand the passage in much more detail than you would in order to answer 3 or 4 questions. And 3 or 4 questions is what you will get on the actual GMAT. In the RC Grail, we only give you 3 or 4 questions from each passage. So that's why it's a good tool, and I strongly suggest that you use that book for your RC prep. So 100 passages and do 3 to 4 passages at a stretch. So if you do 4 passages every day, it will take you 25 days to complete your 100 passages. Ideally do 4 passages every alternate day. So the whole thing will stretch to around 2 months. And once you've done 100 passages, trust me, your skills in RC would have improved considerably. The biggest problem I have seen with most students is they don't practice RCs. It is very boring and this and that, but if you don't practice, it will not improve. In fact, that's a classic case of reverse causality. You will say, I don't want to practice RCs because my accuracy is not good. In fact, it's the other way around. Your accuracy is not good because you don't practice RCs. So get your causality right. So from RC, let's move to critical reasoning. Another common question. Should I use LSAT critical reasoning questions to practice from? Quick answer is no. Because the LSAT material, I think most of the questions are absolutely not representative of what you will see on the GMAT. A lot of the questions are vague, a lot of the questions are weird, they can actually confuse you, they can ruin your strategy. Because things which you've been told will be incorrect on the GMAT could be correct on the LSAT. So then you will be confused what to do. So mostly one only looks at LSAT if one is doing very well in GMAT CR. But if you're doing very well in GMAT critical reasoning questions in the OG and maybe some other resources, then that's good enough for you because that's the level you will get in the exam and you will be fine. You don't need to go crazy about hunting for more and more difficult stuff and go and end up wasting your time with LSAT CR questions. I mean, we have an LSAT question bank, by the way, on the Aristotle website. If you go to the free resources section, you will find that LSAT critical reasoning question bank. And the questions in that are still, we've tried to select the ones which were closer to the GMAT. But I still don't recommend that you bother with that. In case you're still feeling very enthusiastic, go and download that LSAT question bank from the Aristotle website and go through it. But ideally, my suggestion is stick to GMAT critical reasoning. If you're very good at that, that's perfectly okay. You will get a very good score in reasoning on the actual GMAT. And that's the end of it. Last thing, and this is about Quant. As most of you would know, the OG does not contain the most difficult questions. At least most of the questions in the OG, especially in problem solving, are I think easy to mid difficulty. The last 70-80 are tough. So it's not like everything is easy. There are some tough questions also in the OG. But I'm gonna speak about the explanations. Now the explanations to a lot of the Quant question in the OG I find to be overly complex. I mean, you'll see 2-page explanations which you will never be able to actually apply on an actual question. I mean, if you get that question in the exam, you would never do it the way the OG is doing it. So what I'm getting to is a lot of the questions in the OG math can be done faster. So what you should do is if you come across a question while practicing, the explanation to which looks very complex to you or you find that very difficult to understand, just Google that question. You will find on some forum somebody else would have given a shorter and a better explanation which you might be able to make more sense of. So Google those questions. You'll find a lot of resources online. But don't blindly follow the OG explanations. Same thing applies to OG sentence correction also, which is why we came up with an entire book explaining the OG explanation, because the way the OG explains, the sentence correction explanations is way too grammatical, in some cases way too complex, and if you follow that, you will not get the answer in a minute. So we came up with this book, which only has explanations to the OG explanations, and how to get to the answer to each sentence correction question in 1 minute. So we'll end today's vlog at that note. I hope you guys find these tips informative and useful in your prep. I shall see you tomorrow in a new vlog. Have a nice day.